Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the broadcast. I'm so glad all of you are here today. And I just want to say I love each and every single one of you. You guys honestly mean the world to me. So thank you again for being here. But with that, there's something happening right now in the state of New Jersey that is literally leaving residents terrified. You see, what's happening in that state is the government is throwing up signs all over the roadways, and these signs have a rather eerie statement on them, and it's leaving many people in that state to wonder what the hell is going on. But what's on these signs and what the hell is actually going on? Well, take a look at this article, and I found this on foxnews.com. New Jersey sparks terror fears with See Something, Say Something roadway campaign. Confused residents wonder if there is a terror threat after New Jersey launched a See Something, Say Something public safety campaign. Now it goes on to state drivers in New Jersey have been greeted with roadway signs that read suspect terrorism, see something, say something, with a tip line number to report those threats. It goes on. These signs are part of a public safety campaign launched last month by New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness in partnership with the State Department of Transportation and New Jersey Turnpike Authority. But their sudden appearance on major highways with little notice or fanfare has alarmed state residents. Quote, "This makes me think that there's an underlying thing going on that's not public yet," said Manalapan resident Lori Benetti in an interview with local station News 12. Now, here's the actual signs that some people are seeing in the state. Suspect terrorism, and you can see there they even have a phone number to call. But the article goes on to detail what authorities are saying about why they are doing this. And here's what they say, quote, "The goal of the campaign over the next few months is to remind residents and visitors who may be transversing New Jersey's highways for vacation, holiday shopping, and other festivities of the importance of being aware of their surroundings and of reporting suspicious activity," said Lori Doran, the director there of NJOHSP. She goes on, "The public is one of our first and best lines of defense in the fight against terrorism. Our See Something, Say Something initiative bolsters the state security efforts and plays a key role in helping to identify threats and prevent attacks." Now, here is the kicker on this entire thing and why I think there could be potentially something more going on, so to speak. And it says the campaign is going to run from September through mid-February and include nearly 200 signs promoting NJOHSP's suspicious activity reporting number across the New Jersey Turnpike and interstate highways. So you're telling me that only in the state of New Jersey they're going to be putting this suspicious activity of terrorism sign up, and they're going to do it starting in September, going all the way through mid-February. Nothing to see or say here, folks. You know, hey, if I was one of the residents, I would say, well, what the hell's going to happen in our state? Why do you keep putting this on the sign? I mean, it really is intriguing. And by the way, what is interesting, and this hasn't been pointed out by anyone, but just before they started making that announcement, the Department of Homeland Security put out a terrorist threat warning, a brand new one. Now, before I get into that, just a quick break from my sponsor. Well, speaking of digestive issues, this is caused by a potential toxin that is in all of our so-called healthy foods that scientists keep telling us to eat. Now, this potential toxin is what is causing all of these digestive issues, according to Dr. Gundry, who is a world-renowned cardiologist. And in fact, this toxin is affecting millions of people all over the world, and they are experiencing symptoms like weight gain, fatigue, digestive discomfort, and even stiff joints, and so many more symptoms. In fact, the good news is right now you can easily fix this problem from your own home. In fact, Dr. Gundry has decided to release a very informative video that is free to the public that showcases what foods you should or should not avoid. Now, all you have to do to check it out, you go directly to gutcleanseprotocol.com/haven. That's gutcleanseprotocol.com/haven. If you want more information, click that more button or click the link in the description box below. All right, back to the broadcast. So let's dive into this Department of Homeland Security threat risk that was just published just prior to or around the same time as that announcement of what's going on in, well, the state of New Jersey. Take a look here. And this is on the Department of Homeland Security government website, and it's DHS continues to see high risk of foreign and domestic terrorism in 2024, according to a Homeland Threat Assessment. Now, you can see the release date is September 14th, 2023, right around the time that this entire thing began in, mid-September or whatever. But here's the actual threat assessment, and you can see this is a quite a lengthy, not too lengthy. It's I don't remember how many pages, but you've got a couple of pages. But in a nutshell, here's what this threat assessment warns of. Because here's what I guess I want to hit the pause button for 1 second. If this a threat, what is this threat assessment warning of, and could it have anything to do with the warning signs going up in New Jersey? Well, obviously officials are saying, no, nothing's linked, and they're probably not. However, I just find it rather interesting that all of this is being published. And by the way, I'm not saying there is going to be or isn't going to be some kind of terrorist threat. I mean, God, I hope not. But I can see why people are kind of worried about it when you keep throwing up these signs on the street. Anyhow, here it is. Here's that threat assessment. And here is kind of their overall assessment on this whole thing. Sorry, I kind of went through that. Or this is their table of contents, right? You could see public safety and security, and they have terrorism, illegal drugs, and of course, right here to battle those people who say stuff that they don't like the Lisa Havens of the world and the Trumps of the world, foreign misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, transnational repression, and now they've even got border on there because what is happening at the border is continuing to explode and our problems are not getting better. At least they're admitting that in this report. Then they're saying there's also issues that could attack the critical infrastructure and threats to our economy. And actually, they get into this document that the threats of our economy could also come from foreign countries like both China and Russia. But here's kind of the executive summary. And this is where they list all the potential terrorist activity that could happen. Terrorism, both foreign and domestic, remains a top threat to the homeland. But other threats are increasingly crowding the threat space. During the next year, we assess that the threat of violence from individuals radicalized in the U.S. will remain high, but largely unchanged. Marked by the lone offenders or small group attacks that occur with little warning, foreign terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS are also seeking to rebuild overseas, and they maintain worldwide networks of supporters that could seek to target the homeland. Now, of course, they're going both foreign and domestic, and they're talking about how domestic terrorism can increase. Of course, I have major opinions on all of that because they have been trying to paint Trump supporters as domestic terrorists and pro-lifers as domestic terrorists and Christians as domestic terrorists. And I'm sick and tired of it. That's why we need to start getting the right people in office to start going through these three-letter agencies that constantly paint us as such. But anyway, this is who they're warning of. And it's not just that. It gets into a lot more. I mean, that's a whole nother topic in itself. But other things that they warn of is illicit drugs coming in through Mexico, and not just illicit drugs. They also talk about the problems that they're encountering at the border, which we are, right? Record encounters of migrants arriving from a growing number of countries have complicated border and immigration security. In other words, the numbers are increasing, and they're not, they claim that they're screening, but their watch list, so to speak, has also added in number exponentially. But they also go on to talk about other issues that could happen. Domestic and foreign adversaries will likely continue to target our critical infrastructure over the next year. They also say that they expect, of course, the 2024 election cycle will be a key event for possible violence and foreign influence targeting over our election infrastructure, our process, and personnel. In fact, they really dive into it in this entire section here. And they also talk about how other countries can interfere or mess with the system in one in some way, shape, or form. But that's part of the election cycle. And the other things that they also warn about are cyber attacks, something that we've constantly been warned of and told about. And of course, Homeland Security threats, and they expect could come from the People's Republic of China, who could use economic practices to advance its firms and industries over others. So those are some of the threats kind of talked about. And then this one is kind of like a big bombshell threat. It's kind of the whole enchilada they're throwing out at us. But chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear threats to the Homeland Security will persist into 2024 due to several factors, including foreign, political, and military developments and the global proliferation of laboratories working with dangerous biological pathogens, right? And of course, they also get into what's going on with the war and the risk of health and all of that. That's a scary part right there. I think one of the most scariest parts when they're talking about those threats. But either way, I wanted to throw all of this out there. Their assessment comes out for 2024 right in September. And bang, just like that, we have these signs now popping up over in the state of New Jersey. Again, is it linked? No. Not that I know of, but I just find that it's weird and a weird coincidence, I guess. But the fact that these signs are popping up in the state of New Jersey, it's just bizarre. We don't see them popping up in other states, at least not at this time. I'm curious if it is, though. Please post that in the box below. I know here in the state of Arizona, I haven't seen any, at least in the Maricopa County area. But what the hell is going to happen? Probably nothing. I mean, God, I hope nothing. But, I mean, again, if I was a resident, I would be like, what the hell is going on here? Especially since they're running it all the way to freaking February of 2024. Or maybe they're just trying to brainwash us to continue to turn on our loved ones, our neighbors, our friends, our family members. Hey, you got a crazy MAGA person living next door. Call that terrorist hotline. You know, I could also see stuff like that. And I really honestly think that's where they're headed. The way that these politicians and stuff keep speaking and the way that they keep painting us in this negative light, which has nothing to do with but I have seen similar things happen in regimes, horrible regimes like Mao and Hitler, where it started with the attacking of a certain side. And eventually all hell broke loose on that side. And I really pray to God. But I also get this real eerie feeling that, you know, that could also cause loved ones to turn on and turn in each other for no reason at all. Anyhow, I got a lot of information to share with you guys on all of that. But if you really want the truth on what's going on, get to restrictedrepublic.com. I can't stress that enough. And right now, if you use the coupon code Independence, you can get it for $4 per month for the entire first 2 years. But get there and get in the know, because you're not getting all the information on these controlled platforms. And it's less than a cup of coffee. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.